We've had a big shift overnight in the tropics, everybody. Plus, we have a lot of severe weather to go through for today, including the flooding and what's going on with our air quality, because we have some air quality alerts for today as well. Now, you see, we do have some flash flooding going on for southern Texas, but over here by DFW, they actually had some water rescues going on for the flash flooding. Now, this is going to get even stronger for today as it goes towards the mid-Atlantic, bringing you some flooding, and you're going to be in the moderate level risk. Now, for our severe weather, from what I can see, is going to be mostly a damage and wind issue for the Central Plains, also for the Rockies and the North Central. So I'm going to go through that as well. There is a tornado threat, but it is a small threat. So I'm going to go through everything in this video. Make sure you subscribe, follow along for updates. I'm almost at 300,000, so help me get there. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone that helped me get there so far. Now I'm going to go through the latest information on the Texas flooding. So if you're in Texas, you've never been here before, make sure you subscribe. I have some information for you that will help you. Now, the latest number, unfortunately, has risen up to 132. Found dead so far, still 167 missing, still have 5 campers from Camp Mystic and a counselor still missing as well. But there is help for you in Texas if you have not heard this message. There is emergency unemployment available, so make sure you apply for that and go get that help. Also, go to disasterassistance.gov. There's a lot of help for you there as well. And you can call this phone number, 1-800-621-3362. I will leave this on the screen for a little bit longer. And please be aware there is a deadline for these applications. Now, today we have a marginal for severe weather over here in southern Arizona. We also have it all along the East Coast as we get this stalled front coming through, and it's going to bring more storms your way. Also for the northern Rockies, the northern central, the northern plains, you have severe weather for today as well. This is going to ramp up a little bit stronger as you go through for tomorrow. Tomorrow they did add a slight risk. This is for damage and winds, but there is a tornado threat. It is a small 2%, but still you have a threat, but it's not going to be widespread. And you have another day after that as well as we get that front coming through with that trough, bringing more storms. Now, as we check for convection, you can see on the lower levels that we're getting a lot of convection going on with this storm in the blue. This is a lot of rise in motion, a lot of powerful thunderstorms riling up. Now, as soon as this gets towards Florida, this is going to start strengthening up a little bit more as it gets away from the cooler waters. Very much warmer waters as soon as it gets into the Gulf. Still showing the same scenario that I showed yesterday's video, that the stronger it is before Florida, the stronger it would be after Florida. But it has taken another shift. It has taken that northward shift, and it may come right back and go out into the Gulf, but this is where it could also stay on land and there'll be no further threats. So we have multiple options going on here. I will update you on that in this video. Now for today, another hot spot for very strong heat. This is across the southwest. We can give you over 100 to 110 degrees once again for today. And the hundreds do ride up towards California, while the 90s go all the way towards the northern Rockies, the northern plains, and still showing you have a chance for high 90s, even potentially 100 as you go through for the Dakotas. And you have 90s going all the way across the south and the southeast today towards the mid-Atlantic. And with your dew points, once again, right along the Gulf, this is going to be almost all week that you're going to be feeling like 100 degrees or stronger for today. For tomorrow, it's going to be more of the same, especially across the southwest. But now we got the high 90s, even the hundreds kicking in over here for the Rockies and the Central High Plains. Look at this, being in 100 degrees. This is going to be pretty hot for tomorrow. While over here across Montana and North Dakota and northern Minnesota, your highs tomorrow is going to be in the 50s and 60s, while everyone else is stretching those 90s all the way across towards the east and the south. And once again, for tomorrow, with the dew points and the humidity, you're going to feel like over 100 degrees along the southern side of the U.S. Plus our air quality from the Canadian wildfire smoke for today. You see right now, current conditions, all this orange is for sensitive groups, problems in the air, but all this red is unhealthy for everyone, so please be aware. And for the forecast for today, you do have a few places over here for the wildfires going on in the U.S. All the orange over here for Colorado, New Mexico, going across Nevada, across California. This is for sensitive groups, plus this red area over here for Southern California. Be aware that's unhealthy for everyone. But for today, mostly it's going to be across from Minnesota, Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, going across the thumb of Michigan, even some of Illinois and northern Indiana, northern Ohio. This orange is for sensitive groups, and that red is unhealthy for everyone. You can see this here on the legend. Now, yesterday we did get a tornado report in South Dakota. Plus, we had over 60 wind and wind damage reports. So let's go through the severe weather first. You see the few marginal areas that I showed you in the beginning of the video that you have for today. There is no tornado threat for today. It is going to be for winds and a slight chance for hail over here across the north. So here's your cities and states at risk for possible damage and winds for today. I'm showing this is going to be stronger for tomorrow. And this is bringing some flooding towards the mid-Atlantic for today. So you can see while you get this front coming through, it's going to be a stalled front. You're getting storms all the way from Maine, all the way towards Pennsylvania. You're also getting some over here for Florida. You're also getting some storms coming across for central Texas, bringing that rainfall like I showed you for yesterday. You also get some storms coming right on the border of Canada and the U.S., right across Montana, the Dakotas, across northern Minnesota. This is going to help bring cooler temperatures for today. So be aware of that. While this comes across for today, come across Pennsylvania, across New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, across Delmarva, Delaware, and goes out through Long Island, maybe the coast of New England a little bit. For today, this is bringing a lot of storms. It's going to be a stalled front and is bringing you the flooding. Plus what comes through for tomorrow. Tomorrow is when we get that trough a little bit deeper. Starts bringing stronger storms over here across the Dakotas for Wyoming and Montana as well. Bringing damage and winds, but this is where you can get a quick spin up real quick. Not too big of an area over here around Nebraska, but this is bringing damage and winds with that as you go through for tomorrow and tomorrow night, while we get some more storms across Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, pushing into Canada. Showing the strongest is going to be these winds coming through. And you can see this here. So as you get some winds build up for today, you get 40 and 50 miles per hour wind gusts, 40 in the green, 50 in the orange, even 60 in that red across Wyoming, Montana, eastern Colorado, and the western Dakotas, western Nebraska. And as we go through for tomorrow, as it digs in a little bit deeper, get stronger winds coming through. And you can see the wide area of getting the 40, the 50 miles per hour wind gusts, even getting pockets of 60, even showing 70 in there in that brown. Bringing some strong winds with it, showing that's going to be the main threat. So for tomorrow, you can see isolated thunderstorms in any of this green area. Your severe weather is going to be with that trough. You do have that 2% chance for tornadoes. And so far, there's no major population that's at risk for the tornadoes, everyone. Now, we do have the winds and we have the hail that's going to be for tomorrow. So here's your cities and states at risk for possible damage and winds and hail for tomorrow, for Tuesday. And then Wednesday is going to be even weaker. It's down to a marginal. I think damage and winds is going to be your main threat. You could see thunderstorms in any of this green area, but you do have a 5%. So here's your cities and states at risk for possible severe weather for Wednesday. Now, our latest tropical update, it has raised up to 30% now in the next 7 days, even 10% in the next 48 hours, everyone. But there is new information. Now, instead of just going westward after it goes across Florida, it's forecasted to go northwest on an angle towards Louisiana. So we need to watch out for that, because now it's starting to pinpoint with a lot of the trends showing it's going to go right towards Louisiana. I'm going to show you all the information. Now, you can see the big shift when you look what's going on with the European for a chance for a tropical depression, showing that this high pressure up here that is directing it to the west will weaken down a little bit and allow this to travel to the north. Now, the latest outlook, it strengthens right back up, and then it pushes it right back out into the Gulf, everybody. So once again, I'm going to show you the latest deterministic. I'm also going to show you the ensemble and the more likely outcome in the ensembles, everyone. So you can see right here with the European showing it does intensify still right before landfall as you go through for later on this evening, then making landfall overnight. Then showing it goes west. Yeah, it takes that northern track rather than that southern track. Remember, whichever way it takes shape, whether it wants that northern vortice or that southern vortice, will determine all the forecasts after it goes over Florida. On the latest run by the Europeans, shows that high pressure holds together, keeps it going towards the west as a group of disorganized thunderstorms, just bringing you heavy rainfall. Regardless of development, that is always going to be your main threat so far. Latest deterministic run by the Euro AI, which goes by satellites. You can see also it weakens down after Florida, but then it starts going towards Louisiana on the latest run, pinpointing. Now, this is very important. Pinpointing right around Thursday afternoon at 1 p.m. Multiple runs of multiple models is showing this key point right here. So I'm showing that we're going to see this wobble right to the west-northwest, just like forecasted, and then maybe try and ride the coast to the west towards Texas if it don't go inland. Showing Thursday by 1 p.m. on the Euro AI. When you go by the Canadian, Thursday at 1 p.m., once again, showing that same area. Now, the great news is both of these are showing something very weak, maybe a tropical depression, maybe a strong tropical depression, but that would just be some low-end winds and some rainfall. You can handle that. Flooding would be serious anyway, but it wouldn't be no tropical storm or a hurricane. But it's trending right there for Thursday, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, when we go by the Euro AI ensembles, it still shows that it finally does get itself together as we go through Wednesday afternoon. And look at these ensembles showing right what we're seeing with these other ones. By Thursday, 1 p.m., it could be that weak system going towards Louisiana. That is trending as of this morning, or it could also be a little bit further away. So these are our two options. Either we have something weak going right towards Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama would be your impacts on the east side loaded, or it's going to go further towards the west on this second option where it could stay stronger, of course, being in warmer waters, or it could go a little bit further towards the west, towards western Louisiana, be weak again, or still that strong anomaly going right towards Texas as a potential hurricane, everybody. Latest run by the icon is still showing some strengthening right before Florida. Then it still gets messed up. It holds together a little bit stronger today rather than yesterday as it goes over Florida, but seeing that northward shift. You see how it shifted northward into the Gulf, into the northeastern Gulf. Then it shows this high pressure will direct it towards the west. But if you keep watching it, this high pressure right here is weakening down. It is weakening down. This is what's steering it towards the west. And if you watch it, it weakens down. And right there, as you go through for Wednesday evening, overnight into Thursday, it weakens down. Right here, it's weak, and it gives it that chance to take that northward push right into the U.S. You see how the high pressure is way back over here, letting it take that northward push into Louisiana. Showing a strong system by the icon still and taking the same trajectory that is trending with the other models. Showing that it stays messed up all the way until Wednesday morning. Then it starts by Wednesday evening, starts strengthening up. And there goes that northward push because the high pressure weakens down, bringing a tropical storm or even a hurricane right towards Louisiana and staying strong all the way through Louisiana and Mississippi. So let's go to the ensembles and see the more likely outcome. Let's go by the Euro AI for today since it's the one that still wants to continue showing tropical development. And you see as you go through Wednesday afternoon, showing in multiple ensembles that this will be either in the central Gulf or the northeastern Gulf, either being weak or just starting to strengthen up. Now, I could either go into Louisiana as something very weak, you see that, or a little bit stronger, maybe a tropical depression trying to become a tropical storm, or it can go to the west. Now, if you notice, the one to the west is all by itself still, while the rest of these skim right across the northern Gulf as you go through for Thursday evening. Majority of them show that it will more likely go right in towards Louisiana. We even starting to show a little bit more strength even down here, and this one going further towards the west. So it has raised up a little bit more in its chances, but still showing it has two outcomes. If it goes northern in the Gulf, more likely will go inland, just bring a lot of flooding. But if that high pressure stays strong, it will keep going to the west. So it all depends on that high pressure, if it does weaken or not. If it weakens, it's going on land, bringing the heavy rainfall, and it should be the end of this storm. If the high pressure stays strong, it will keep going to the west, staying in these very warm waters, and we're going to have a serious problem, I do believe. The other 25, remember there's 50 ensembles, and you can see on these showing the same thing. It either would be something going right towards Louisiana, and let's take in mind this is only 2 out of 25, everybody. This is literally a 10% chance. It has gone up from 4% to a 10% chance. So it's still nothing super major, but it has raised up a little bit. The rest of those show no chance for development or something very weak moving to the west. So that's the two options we have. Regardless of development, we'll be bringing some flooding. So all the way till tomorrow morning, we do have heavy rainfall coming across for Virginia towards northeast and mid-Atlantic. This is putting you right into that moderate level. And we have it crossing across the northern Bahamas going across Florida. And as we go through this pattern, you can see those storms all the way towards Wednesday is bringing 1 to 2 inches, 2 inches in the red, 1 in the orange, all across the northern plains, north central, all across the Midwest. Adds up more for the Carolinas as well. And as this goes across the Gulf, starts bringing that flooding for the next 5 days of 1 to 2 inches right across the Gulf Coast states, but heavier across Florida. So for today, you have a marginal for flash flooding across the north and across the south, and you do have a slight risk once again for Texas for the flash flooding. So be aware of this for those storms that's moving through. That did verify. Plus for Florida, you're going to be in a slight risk for most of Florida. You're going to be in a marginal for northern Florida. And over here for the mid-Atlantic going towards the northeast, you do have a marginal going all the way towards Maine. But you have the slight risk that's growing from the Carolinas across the Delmarva towards Pennsylvania and the northeast with New York and all. But the moderate level risk is strongest over here for Virginia going across Maryland, northern Delaware, Pennsylvania, and for New Jersey. Please be aware of the flash flooding for today. Now for tomorrow, this is going to continue as this storm system comes across with the trough, putting a slight risk across the Dakotas, Nebraska, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. And you're going to be in a slight risk over here for southern Arizona for those storms bringing that heavy rainfall. Please be aware. And you will be in a slight risk again over here towards mid-Atlantic and for Florida. As you go through Wednesday, you're going to be in the marginal, but this is where it's going to start shifting in the Gulf. And as you go through Thursday, so far you have Louisiana, Mississippi, southern Alabama that's going to be in a slight risk, and for Friday as well. And still showing all this formation is trying while we have unfavorable environment going on, everyone. And as we go through the end of July through August, we're going to start gaining an intensity in our favorable environment. Showing it's going to be a lot stronger still in the Pacific, and it's going to be a lot stronger still over here in the MDR going into the Caribbean. But over here for our section, this is where we need to be aware for chances for formation as we go through late July into August. Not showing a lot of intensity, but it don't take much. Once you go from that unfavorable to that neutral to that favorable phase, this is where storms can build very quickly, especially in the very warm waters. And that is your weather forecast, everyone. So I hope this helps you understand what the new information is. I will see you this afternoon, of course, for the latest information and the latest update. Thank you again for your time, everybody. Hope you have a very great day today. Do not go freak out and go buy all kind of materials. I'm not showing that we're at that point yet. Just be on alert, everyone, that if this does start forming up, you will literally have 24 hours, maybe even less, to get ready for this storm if it starts intensifying. So make sure you pay attention to the updates. Before I go, a quick word from our Father, everyone. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct the paths. Amen. Remember, above all things, all glory does go to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope he keeps you safe every single day of your life and forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you this afternoon for the update.